Now, as we move into the final gate for the Sagittarius true sky, this is going to be from the 16th to the 20th. So I think Sagittarius ended really started really clean in the gate 10, and it's ending really clean in the gate 60. And the gate 60, we've actually talked about many, many times. It's this gate of really kind of wanting to hold on to traditions. And we've talked about it a lot because Pluto's been in the gate 60 for a long time. And so it's been a huge energy connected to Pluto. Now, as we look at this week, we're going to see that Mars is still aligned to Procyon. Venus is now connected to that Archer in the Eridanus energy. So a lot of expanded learning, a lot of higher values, and really stepping in to kind of galactic types of wisdoms of how to rearrange this society. Now we are coming into the week too, that heightened energy within the United States. So we're going to see this in the gate 60. What else do we have? Mercury now aligned to Vega. And within here, Venus conjunct Saturn. So there is going to be a really neat conjunction within there. And Mars now moving into an energy with Pollux. So Pollux is going to expand in, it's one of the Gemini energies, Gemini constellation energies, and it's going to connect to just kind of teamwork and working together, which I think we're really gonna thrive from as we work with this. So now as we start to look at this final gate of Sagittarius, Sagittarius is going to be taking this vibrational energy, and it's going to be wanting to hand it off to the Capricorn energy that's coming up. And as it's getting ready to hand off this energy, it's sitting there within this final trajectory of saying, hey, remember, 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 remember. Focus on where you are headed, where you came here to be your dream. So where did Sagittarius start? It started with the gate 10. The gate 10, which is the direction from your own self, your own divine purpose, your own dharma. So it's now saying focus, focus, focus. What is your dharma? What is your path? What is your trajectory? Don't lose sight of where that arrow is taking you. And as you hook into that, this is amazing because the gate 60 has a bit of a duality within there. The gate 56 that it has a polarity with, it wants stimulation. It wants things to kind of start to move forward and shift and change. But 60 says, don't move so fast without actually honoring the foundation. So we could think of this as the Cathar. We could think of this as the Cathara, the Cathara grid. We could think of this as the divine or the universal laws or the cosmic laws, divine law and divine right order. So the gate 60 is the gate of acceptance, but it also has this energy of limitation. There's always a pressure on it. There's always a pressure on creation to change. Yet there's a part of that eternal flame that says, wait, we have to make sure that we're still always aligned to the eternal flame, to the eternal light. And if we mutate too crazy all over the place, we can actually create mutations that disconnect us from source. So the gate 60 in some ways, because it does actually have a lot to do with hybridization, genetics, and these kinds of things. It says, hey, wait a minute. If you actually start to mix too many genetics, and this is what happened on the Tara timeline, the timeline of Earth and Tara, where there was that great influx of these Syrian Anunnakis and these Orion beings and these other extraterrestrials that started to tinker with the Terranusium races, and they started to interbreed with them. Well, their genetics didn't create appropriate mutations within, and there became a digression in the genetics within there. So there is a validity to this. There is always this tug of war, this give and take within creation. And you see this a lot of times with people who want to hold maybe a town into a historic town. I will tell you, I lived in Hawaii for a very long time, and I saw the influence of Gate 60 there very strongly. And that is there's this tug of war. There's this tug of war of how things can evolve for things to flow in a much more Lemurian based way, where there's harmony, where there's abundance, where there's flow. Yet there's this huge tug of war of not changing things, not changing the heritage of the past, taking things back to the thing way things were. And so there's this tug of war between maintaining the historical of the past and how can it move forward into the future. And projects would stall for decades and not get done. And I'm it's just interesting to see because it's again there's when we see things from the perspective of our human perspective of to the way that history has been, the way that things are on this planet, and we don't expand out into the Akashic libraries and into the records that go even way further back than where some of these arguments are coming from, we're going to realize we can stay stuck for thousands of years in these limiting thought forms because we're still pointing fingers and we're still making others accountable or responsible for things. And it's very interesting that this, in the Gene Keys perspective, is called the cracking of the vessel. So we would see that as like, yeah, sometimes you have to break the vessel in order for something new to get created. The shadow again is limitation, but it's the gift of realism, starting to see chaos to order, back to chaos, back to order, back to chaos, back to order. That when we see the cosmic cycles, that we have the ability to actually take the veneration of the true cosmic divine order and allow creation to evolve in the way it's meant to. We are meant to mutate, we are meant to evolve, we are meant to expand. And we can hang on to traditions and things that always give us a link to the ancestors in the past, but we don't need those to be dead weights or anchors that hold us back. And so as we start to recognize this, we can start to see the city of justice. And there's a sense that when you tap into what is justice, whose justice are you fighting for? Who are you fighting to have justice? That's an important question. And I'm not here to answer that for anyone because I think that's a really important thing for us to sit and contemplate on is like, where have we been kind of holding on to this idea of fighting for justice or that justice has to be served? But have we ever asked, whose justice are we fighting for? And that, I think, is a beautiful place for us to leave this Sagittarius energy from this stellar report.